War in the Middle East is no longer just a regional conflict, it's a direct economic shock for India. Because here's the reality. India imports over 85% of its crude oil, and a major portion comes through the Strait of Hormuz, a route now disrupted by war. And the impact is already visible. Oil prices have surged beyond $120 per barrel, creating one of the biggest energy shocks in decades. Every $10 increase in oil prices adds $14 billion to India's import bill. This means higher petrol and diesel prices, government forced to cut taxes or increase subsidies, pressure on fiscal deficit. Even LPG, used in Indian homes, has been hit, with 60% dependent on imports, leading to shortages and delays. Your monthly budget gets squeezed immediately. Inflation, the silent killer. When oil rises, inflation spreads everywhere. Food prices increase, transport cost. FMCG products get expensive, packaging plus logistics. Daily essentials become costly globally. Experts warn of a second wave of inflation hitting groceries, medicines, and consumer goods due to energy-linked costs. Same salary, higher expenses, lower real income. Manufacturing and FMCG, cost explosion industries rely heavily on fuel and petrochemicals. Impact. Raw material costs rise. Plastic, chemicals, packaging become expensive, margins shrink for companies. Supply chain disruption has already reduced India's crude trade flows by 36% in some cases, showing how severe the shock is. Companies either raise prices or profits fall. Aviation industry, worst hit, jet fuel prices spike with crude oil. Impact, flight tickets become expensive, airlines face losses, travel demand drops. Globally, aviation operations have already faced major disruption due to airspace closures in conflict zones. Expect expensive flights and reduced travel. Logistics and trade, supply chain breakdown. With Hormuz disrupted, shipping costs increase, delivery delays rise, export-import trade slows. India's exports to the Middle East dropped by $3.5 billion in just 1 month. Businesses struggle to maintain supply chains. Tech and electronics, hidden impact. Semiconductors and electronics depend on global supply chains. Impact. Chip shortages, rising device prices, slower production, because energy costs affect everything, from factories to global shipping. Stock market and currency, volatility. War creates financial instability. Indian rupee weakens, near record lows. Bond yields rise above 7%. Stock markets become volatile. Oil price shocks directly impact currencies of import-heavy countries like India. Investors face uncertainty. Agriculture and fertilizers. Indirect shock. Fertilizers depend on natural gas. Impact. Gas supply disruptions reduce production. Government subsidy burden increases. Food inflation rises. Some sectors are already receiving only 70% of gas supply, impacting output. Food prices rise even further. Energy shift. The opportunity. But every crisis creates opportunity. India accelerating renewable energy. Solar, EVs. Reduced dependence on oil imports. Defense and domestic energy sectors benefit globally. The war is pushing countries to shift away from fossil fuels faster. So this isn't just a war in the Middle East. It's higher petrol prices, expensive groceries, pressure on your salary, global war, local impact. Follow us for more breakdowns on geopolitics, economy, and markets. Subscribe now. Stay tuned.